Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to our Budget Community Portfolio series for the month of November 2024. By the way, sorry for getting this video out a little late. I actually ripped a ligament in my finger over the weekend playing basketball. And I had some other stuff happen, but I'm back now and I can't wait to get this update video out for you. Now, this is not my private portfolio. This is the public community one where I deposit $100 every month into this brand new portfolio that I created from scratch. And then I use that money to invest in stocks, some of which is also influenced by you guys through various polls or even comments and messages that you send me. And then we do these monthly update videos broken up into 3 parts, covering how the portfolio is doing and everything that we bought or sold last month in October. Then we cover how each individual stock is doing and what I plan to buy in the current month of November. And then at the end, I finish up with a few comments from you guys and I give a response to them. So it's a ton of fun. Can't wait to jump into this. Really quick though, just a bit of housekeeping. If you are new to this series, you can get access to this portfolio and more by supporting me on Patreon. Link is in the description, which also gives you access to our community Discord where I post a new stock purchase every single day. So if you're a member, it'll send you a notification each day of what stocks I'm buying. Also, we use SoFi for this account, which I love using and I highly recommend. Even for setting up a Roth IRA, for example, it's perfect for that too. And if you use my referral link down in the description, you get $25 worth of stocks absolutely free just for signing up. There's no hidden fees or anything like that. SoFi is completely free to use and I highly recommend it. All right. Thank you so much for all of your support, guys. It means the world to me. And with all that said, let's go ahead and take a look at how the community portfolio is holding up so far. All right, now the total balance has risen now to about $1,465. It might change a little throughout this video because the market was still open when I took these screenshots. But after having the account open now for a full year, we're currently up 13% on it, or $165, which when you deduct the cash portion, our actual stock investments are up even more at 16% gains. So very good performance here, especially for just being the first year. This is a very small portfolio on a tight budget, so to already be up double digits is really good, and I can't wait for what's to come longer term, especially since most of the holdings here are long-term minded investments, including dividends that can snowball larger over time too. As for which stocks I purchased last month though, in October, I did run a few polls to get some influence from you guys, including this one on YouTube, where I asked which of our 5 best performing stocks should we buy more of, and this was a very close race here, with Palantir winning at 26% of the votes, while SoFi, Nvidia, and PayPal all came in just barely under them at about 20% of the votes each, but Palantir won, so I bought some more of that stock. Then over on Discord, I asked which brand new stock should we add to the portfolio, to which 23% of the votes went to Vici Properties. This is one of my favorite dividend paying REITs in the market right now, so I was very happy to see them win. And I added some more of that stock too, as they beat out other popular stocks like Apple, GM, AMD, and more. After that though, I asked over on Patreon which dividend payers should we buy more of in the portfolio, to which a dominant 38% of the votes went to Verizon, who also has the highest yield, so that may have played a role there in why it was so popular, but it just beat out Pfizer, who came in second place, so I added Verizon stock, more of that one, to the portfolio. Unfortunately, I only ran 3 polls in total last month, which I need to do a better job of. I just got really busy this October with other work and things going on, but I promise that in the future I am going to run more polls than that. But in total, I actually went over budget last month, spending $120 on stocks, which is tied for the most money that we spent in a month this year. And of that 120, $15 went to each of Microsoft, Pfizer, Palantir, and Vici, while $10 went to each of Amazon, Supermicro Computer, and Verizon, with another $5 each going to Alibaba, Disney, Medtronic, Nvidia, Tesla, and Tyson Foods. Overall, though, again, it was a very active month for the portfolio, which I am happy about. We got to get this thing out, rolling larger so that we can start to generate bigger returns over time. And I'll definitely look to continue that progress in future months. Speaking about the future, though, let's take a look now at which of the stocks are our best and worst performers here in the portfolio, either up or down, and what I plan to buy in the next month in November as well. All right, so here's all the holdings on SoFi. If you want to take a closer look at these, you can always go to Discord where I post all the screenshots, but I just created some custom charts here to make it easier. And so here's the entire portfolio. I won't run through all of these, but just some quick highlights are that Google, Amazon, and Microsoft remain the top 3 largest holdings, while SoFi, Palantir, Pfizer, and Verizon all together with those other I can't speak, other 3 together make up about half of the entire portfolio just in those 7 stocks, which I am very happy about because I like all of those for their own unique reasons. And I also love the names just barely under that too, like Medtronic, Meta, and Nvidia. I do think that we could add a little more though to these dividend payers like Bristol Myers, EXR, and Cisco. So in November, I'll be looking to add more of those. And I would also like to increase some of the smaller positions too, especially C3 for their exposure to AI, as well as Vici Properties, the newest addition to the portfolio. And of course, again, like I said, one of my favorite dividend paying REITs right now, so I would love to add more of that one too. In terms of how much I'm either up or down though on each of these positions, well, starting with the double digit gainers first, SoFi and Palantir have really been by far our best performers this year. Both are up over 50% each, which I love to see since those are also in our top 7 largest holdings. So it's great to see those up a lot. And then at 40% gains, we have Tesla. Love to see that just because of how much, kind of hate or angry comments I get for owning Tesla, but they continue to perform well. And then we also have Nvidia and NextEra doing pretty well for us here at over 30% gains each. And there's several more names in the 20% plus range also, and a few more in the teens too, including our 2 largest holdings in Google and Amazon. So I'm very happy to see those, performing well too. And then in the single digits though, these are some names that I wouldn't mind adding more of in the coming month here, especially I would say Verizon and Pfizer for the large dividends, since I'm only up a small amount on those. So the dividend yields are still going to be very attractive at these levels. I would love to pick up more of them. And then like I said before, I would also like a little more of C3.ai because of how small of a holding it is still for us. Turning over to the losers though, well, I can tell you right away that Microsoft will be a very obvious target next month. It's kind of almost flat, but the fact that it is just barely negative, less than 1% negative, but it's negative, that's one of my all-time favorite stocks that I very strongly believe in long term. So I'm going to be for sure picking up more of it. It's a must buy for me. And then Vici Properties is the other obvious choice here, given how small it still is in the portfolio because it's new, but has a very attractive dividend yield, as I am still in the red on it. So I would love to pick up more of them. And then of course the biggest loser of all is Supermicro Computer at 20% losses so far. Nothing else really comes close to that. Overall, the entire portfolio is doing very well. It's very strong, but Supermicro has unfortunately been dealing with some really, I would say, like unique issues that are company specific to them, and it's stuff that is kind of out of our control. Really, they're being accused of things like fraud, being investigated by the government, having their audit firm resigning. So it's all just kind of up in the air for Supermicro right now. It's a little hard to say where all of this is going. Luckily, it's a tiny position of ours. It's only worth like $20 or something. So it would honestly be fine if this stock even went to zero in the worst case scenario. But I hope that the opposite happens. I hope that they get their act together, maybe pay some big fines, but they fix their issues and then become a high flyer once again in the AI market. But as of right now, all I can really do is kind of wait and see with this one. I don't plan on buying more at this time. I did just pick up some last month to lower the cost a little, but I think for now I'm gonna wait for a little while here until we get some more clarity before buying any more of this higher risk stock. By the way, I did make a video outlining everything going on with Supermicro, so if you want to check it out, just go into my videos list on my channel. I just put it out, and I go into more detail on everything going on there. All right, with that said though, I did deposit another fresh $100 for the month of November, which brought the account total up to around $1,566, and in turn, it raised our cash balance up to $367 with a cash ratio of around 23%. Would probably want that to be a little higher, but for now I think that cash ratio is okay. And I'm just happy to see the portfolio cross $1,500. We've only had it for a year, you know, $100 monthly budget. I think 1 month I did add an extra 100, but overall it's doing great. And it kind of just shows the power of just investing a little bit of money, saving money, investing a little bit every month. It can really add up, you know, over time. All right, now with all of that said, I would say those are my overall thoughts on the portfolio moving forward here. A couple things I'm hoping for in the coming months would be some volatility in the market. We have big elections and we also have movement with interest rates. So hopefully that causes a little volatility. Maybe we get some cheaper prices, but for sure I'll keep you guys updated in future videos on everything that I'll be buying out there in the market for my personal portfolio too, because obviously that's the much bigger one. This is the public budget community one. But yeah, just kind of I'll be keeping an eye on stocks, looking to buy more. Dividend stocks are always a good choice for a beginner portfolio like this too. So different things I'll be looking for. But with all of that said, it's time to finish up the video now with some comments from you guys, and I'll respond to a few of them. And as always, you can leave comments here as well down below, and I may respond to them in next month's video. All right, so first up here, we've got John Arborio, who says, day 110 of asking about making a video on when to sell, please. Dang, I'm sorry. So I'm sorry for not making that video. It looks like you've been requesting it for a while now, so I apologize for that. I've had a lot of different videos that I've been working on lately, and there's been other stuff going on, so I've been a little limited on time, but I promise I'll get that video done for you because you've been requesting it for a while, and hopefully I can get that out to you before the end of the year. As a long-term investor, selling stocks is not something that I do very often, but of course it is important to always be, you know, willing to lock in profits and to also know when a company has lost the vision or the direction that you believed in when you bought the stock. Maybe the stock has now become overvalued. So there's a lot of factors and variables to take into account to know when to sell a stock. Even as a long-term investor, you still have to be willing to lock in profits on occasion. So, and then there's even trimming, there's balancing your portfolio. So there's a lot of things to consider. I would love to go deeper into detail on those factors and variables for you in a video, and I'll hope to get that out to you before the end of the year. Sorry it's been taking so long. All right, next up we have Ahmed Chowdhury. Sorry if I mispronounced that. By the way, I like your profile picture. It looks like you're by the ocean there. I love the ocean. I try to go there as much as possible here in California. But this person says, what do you think about NIO? It's a one-of-a-kind company. Well, I actually just made an update video recently on NIO, so please feel free to check it out. I go into detail why the stock is rising and even what differentiates them. But yeah, like you said, they have some unique qualities that help them stand out. Obviously, they're in China, so it's like a Chinese kind of version of Tesla cars in a way. But they also do battery swaps, which no one else, I believe, really does. And they recently launched an even cheaper sub-brand with plans to launch another even cheaper sub-brand than that by next year. So I actually really like what NIO is doing, and I think they have potential to expand internationally too. A concern there though is tariffs with international expansion, but you know, as a higher risk speculative type of stock, I like them more than most, and I actually do own a very small amount of it in my personal portfolio. We don't have it in the community one, but I'll be sure to include them in a future poll when we look at any new stocks to add, and you guys can vote on it. All right, next up here, we have Pajero Lad, who says, I'd also love if you could do a video on some mining stocks like Vail, Albemarle, and Rio Tinto. So that's actually in response to another comment from last month's video where someone asked about Vail. And I said there that I would consider doing a video on some mining stocks, mostly because I'm interested in ones with ties to EVs and batteries, so like cobalt mining and lithium and that type of stuff. But I'm also interested in gold mining stocks too, and maybe even diamond stocks. So there's a lot there that kind of interests me that I would love to make videos on. By the way, a long time ago, I had actually owned a gold mining stock, but it was many years ago, and I eventually sold out of it because I felt like I just wasn't knowledgeable enough about it. But I would love to do some new updated research on these markets and these companies, and maybe I could put out like a best mining stocks type of video for you guys. I think that would be a lot of fun. So if you guys want that, then I can do that for you guys. I would just have to do, I just need to do more research, to be honest. I need to do more in-depth research on it. Okay, one last comment here. This one from William Crane, who says, love your videos. What's your opinion on Redwire, RDW? Well, first of all, thank you for the nice comment. I really appreciate that, and I'm glad that you're enjoying the channel. As for Redwire, this is a bit of a speculative company in that they're not yet profitable, but they're very interesting. They're a space-related company that just barely IPO'd in 2021, and they provide hardware, software, and other related services for space missions. And more recently, they've been getting more attention for entering the satellite thruster market, which is supposed to be very large and growing. There's a ton of demand for them, with the US Space Force alone wanting to put up now hundreds of missile detection and tracking satellites into orbit, which, by the way, many of those get replaced every few years. So the demand could be like hundreds of thrusters, maybe per month, according to some estimates, which would equate to hundreds of millions of dollars in new revenue for this company, which, by the way, they recently also made an acquisition in Hera Systems to expand their portfolio in these areas even further. And while the stock had risen already a lot this past year on all of that hype, well, it's still down about a quarter of its value since IPO, with a pretty reasonable PS ratio of less than 2, considering that their cash flows are also improving. So all of this to say that for being a higher risk kind of speculative stock, I actually kind of like Redwire. I don't own it, but I do look them up on occasion. I do enjoy tracking it, and I'm actually thinking about making a bigger overall kind of broader video diving into space related companies and stocks. So maybe I'll talk more about them in that video, but it's definitely a very interesting spec stock to keep track of. And like I said, I want to do more videos on space exploration stocks and other related stocks too. But yeah, anyway, that'll do it for this month's update. I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Thank you for stopping by as always. Thank you for all your support, and I will catch you in the next video. All right, take care, everybody. Bye-bye.